Welcome back to another Agent of Change interview. I'm your host, Jada Ross, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Camesha Williams. We're so happy to have you here today. We're so honored to be in your presence. Today we're just going to introduce you to our viewers, and we want to get to know a bit more about you. So can you tell us where you're from? Did you start here in Memphis?
So first I want to say I'm so appreciative is even being recognized as someone to be interviewed by you all. So originally I'm actually from Fayette County.
Okay.
I was born in Memphis but raised in Fayette County. So you know, wherever you raised at, that's where you're from. So I'm a country girl, but I moved here to Memphis, of course, after grad school.
Okay, got you. That's nice to know. So what can you take us into your education? Where'd you go to school?
Sure. All right. So undergrad, I went to Lane College, just in Jackson, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then I went to Alabama A&M, which is in Huntsville, and I got my social work master's in sociology undergrad.
That's really interesting. Okay, you're very multifaceted. I love that. So what were some of your favorite things to do growing up? Were you always into fitness? You know, did you see yourself coming here?
It's so crazy. Like, I've never been an athlete. I've never played any sports. I used to sing. So I sang in a choir, and from middle school all the way up until high school, and I actually sang in the jazz band in college. So I love music first.
Okay, music is your first love. So how did you get into fitness? What brought you here?
My freshman 15.
Okay, wow. We all know about that.
Yeah, so I came my freshman 15. There was a gym that was not too far from the school. Actually, one of the professors, her husband, was the owner of the gym. And so everybody was going to the gym. So I'm like, I need to go ahead and lose these couple of pounds.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and went there. The name of the gym was called D180 Fitness. And that's where everything really started.
Okay, got you. So you're into personal training, powerlifting, bodybuilding. Which is your favorite out of those? You know, if you do so much.
I feel like both of them have pros and cons. So I've only done one powerlifting meet, so I'm like really new at powerlifting. But for powerlifting, I think it makes me feel like I don't have to have a certain look, which I'm not being judged off of how I look. I'm being judged, can you get this weight up? Okay. Like, can you get this deadlift, this bench press, this squat? Like, can you get the weight up? And I absolutely love that. It's still challenging because mentally, even going down into a squat, you gotta get back up. Of course, you're gonna have somebody behind you, but like, you want to get the weight up, and so that's so empowering within itself. And then bodybuilding on the other side, even though I am getting judged off of my image, it's kind of like that's a super duper challenge too, because now I have to transform my body to something that it does not look like year around, and I get to be this whole other person on stage, which I love performing, and that's the music part.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, how do you stay motivated? You know, music was your first love, so how do you stay motivated and pushing yourself to do these powerlifting, you know, contests and things of that nature? Like, how do you push yourself to keep going?
I'm a very competitive person. Even though I didn't do any sports, like, still with music and being in choir, like, we still did like choir competitions.
Right.
So we had to compete against other people, and then I'm a Leo too, so baby.
Okay,
boss up. We gotta win.
Shout out your gang. I got you. Yeah. So your first time competing, were you nervous? Yes. You were. Wow.
I'm always nervous, even like with music and being able to get on stage and sing in front of people. Like, you still get nervous. You still want your gift to help other people too. So you want to make sure you give your absolute best because somebody's always watching you.
Yeah, that's extremely motivating. I love that. So can you share one of your favorite experiences? I mean, whether it be through your personal training or your powerlifting, bodybuilding, what's something that's really stood out to you in your journey?
I had to really think on that one. You said the best experience, or what really stood out? Yeah,
one of your favorite experiences. It could come down to a client that you trained, or just, you know, you competing, whatever it may be that stood out to you or impacted your journey.
I would say the fact that I quit my job to do personal training.
Wow, so that was a big step for you.
Yeah, and when I told you I started at D180 Fitness, I actually started personal training there too. So of course my background is sociology, social work. I would train a group of adolescents. So that was my first start. Like, I trained teenagers, And so it's just crazy to me that I still went on to get my master's and did all this stuff, and then full circle, I went right back to personal training.
That's the black woman right there. Yes, I love that. Wow, working with the adolescents, that must take like a lot of patience and really meeting people where they're at. I love that.
Yes.
It's really inspiring. So has Memphis influenced your fitness journey in any way?
I feel like there's a lot of go-getters in Memphis. Like, we got that grit and grind here in Memphis.
Agree. Yes, ma'am.
And so when you say that competitive portion, like, that makes me continue to have that grit and grind, because it's like, you got to get it. And then for me, it's like, girl, you quit your career. Like, this is not a regular 9-to-5 job that you quit. Like, you quit your salary job for you to go ahead and pursue your dream, which is personal training. Yeah. So, like, I got to get it.
Yeah, you've impacted so many people. Your journey is bigger than you. I think that's amazing. You know, you're helping the youth.
Yeah.
You're training dozens of individuals. That's really amazing. So, do you have anything you're working on in the future that you're excited about?
Right now I'm actually collaborating with another colleague. We're doing a leg program together. And actually me and her, we've done some bodybuilding competitions together and everything. Mm-hmm. And she's very inspiring herself. Shout out Danny. So we're dropping our leg program March the 13th. But long term, I got some really great things coming. I definitely want to combine my social work degree with my personal training. Amazing. So I'm still working on that right now, so I don't want to say too much, but I'm still working on it.
Okay, well, we'll keep up with you. We'll stay posted and, you know, let our fellow Agent of Change know how to connect with you further. That's amazing. Do you have any advice that you would give any upcoming athletes or women in fitness here in Memphis or around the world?
Yes. Definitely understanding discipline. And like just being focused. I feel like we have so many distractions now. Like, I get distracted right now strolling on Instagram, and I'm supposed to be doing something else that's supposed to be for my business or for my family or whatever have you. But being able to channel in on what your goal is and being driven by that.
Yes, and you show that. Your transformation is amazing. You know, I went through your Instagram and seen all of your inspiring posts, and you out there competing and taking those lovely pictures. It's super inspiring. I can see that discipline. So it's amazing for you to share that with others and teach others and connect with other individuals to continue to help them get to their goals. Is there anything that you would like to see change in Memphis?
I would definitely like to see more female collaborations. Hence, that's why I'm doing one with Danny here in Memphis. Yeah. I really like to see more collaborations, period. I feel like we have that grit and grind, but sometimes it can be a bad thing because we feel like we have to do everything by ourselves. Yes. When we can come together collectively to do some massive stuff, because we have so many different talented people in Memphis. I agree.
We're better together. Mm-hmm. And once we realize that, I feel like we can grow our city. So many more people will come out. I agree with you on that. Yeah. Definitely. So I'd like to get your statement about you being an agent of change. You've impacted so many people. So why do you feel that you are an agent of change?
I feel like I'm an agent of change because I bring about a positive influence to individuals. I let people know that there's nothing that you can't do, especially with God, Christ himself.
Amen.
So I feel like you can do anything. Like, don't doubt yourself. And don't lowball yourself. You can do it.
Yeah, that's great, Jim.
Especially if I can.
You sound like a great trainer. You're really good at motivating and pushing people forward, and people need that. They need somebody in their corner. So I agree that you are definitely an agent of change. You've inspired me. I'm sure you've inspired dozens of other people. So I thank you for coming to Chop It Up with us, and we will see you all on our next interview with Agent of Change.